Hi, I'm Meg Harrison. I own Blackwing Farms. We make flower essence remedies. Also, we also blend with homeopathics and essential oils. But today I'm going to talk only about flower essences. Some have homeopathy in them. You'll understand later. And actually, through all my research, and next week I'll show you some of my research books that I do use. Through all my research, I have found out that way back when, actually homeopathy started as flower essences. So I used to, it's like, we're the grandfather, we're the grandmother of homeopathy, and that's pretty cool to know. And it is still the same method today. So at any rate, speaking of methods to my madness. Okay, so I'm talking about formulas, and this particular set that I want to talk about is for, I call it new beginnings. Again, because we have these animals come to us and it's brand new. All animals are adopted, let's face it. We're not, birthing them in the same room and keeping them forever. So, and that is very rare. And here's the other thing. If you are a breeder, or you do have dogs from birth, still taking them out into a new environment is a new beginning for them. Animals need to feel safe in their existing environment. That means if I take you out to the back of my station wagon and put you in there for a ride, you need to feel safe in there. So again, that's getting ahead of this story. New beginnings I made for shelters, because I will walk in, and I have been in some shelters throughout the United States. Don't get me wrong, they're all fantastic. People who work there, maybe the conditions, maybe the environment is not optimum. They didn't come from a great environment to begin with. And so here they are, and we're just trying to take care of them. That's all we want. And we want them to have a new beginning, a fresh start, so to say. So new beginnings is actually, oh, here it is. Okay, so I created it. This is my campaign for shelters and rescues and sanctuaries, fosters, everything. It says always adaptable is forever adoptable. Now, when I started this, we were literally, and I even hate to say the statistic, but we were euthanizing 24 million dogs and cats a year in shelters for basically no reason. It was basically for no reason. It was not health related. It was not behavioral. So I am all about getting ahead of that. And everybody is doing such a fantastic job as a nation of animal welfare people. We really got ahead of that between spay, neuter, et cetera, and trying to figure out the behavior of the dogs, cats. How could we make them better? So improve their lives. So new beginnings. That is why I created it, and it is for chronic problems, chronic behavioral problems. I don't care how old it is. That's the most amazing thing for me about flower essences. Two things. I don't want to skip this. First of all, they always work. Secondly, they work on everybody in the vicinity. I know that sounds crazy, but it does. And they work before, during, and after, but that's time. We'll have time for that in a different discussion. So new beginnings. What I did was I combined all these things. Dandelion, I'm obsessed with the dandelion flower. A few flower tops, soak it in good water, set it in the sun for 20 minutes, maybe an hour max, and that is your flower essence. That flower water is your essence. It's no more complicated than that. I'm coming up with something, a meme, Fiafi. Figure it out for yourself. And I'm going to give you everything you could possibly want to figure this out for yourself. So a couple of dandelion flowers floating in water, and then strain it well. The distilled water is my preference. Strain it well, drink it, and that's dandelion. Dandelion is great for deep-rooted fears. Hello, that deep taproot that the flower has. Often dandelion roots are taller in the ground than the plant is tall above the ground. It's an amazing, I just love it. And that's why it's the bane of gardeners. You step on it, it brings right back. It's cheery, it's happy, it's the brightest yellow in the field, and it really makes people angry often. Okay, so it's for cheeriness, but it's for deep-rooted fears. And then we blended that with yarrow, as I've talked about before. Now, in this case, yarrow is for trust. gorse for optimism, star of Bethlehem, which is so fabulous for emotional shock, but it's good for worry. Sweetgrass for a positive outlook, and then homeopathic aconitum 30x for past trauma, arnica 30x for negative muscle memory retention, getting rid of that, and then chamomilla 6x for deep relaxation. That's new beginnings. Boy, you talk about walking through a shelter where there's 4 dogs per cage, etc. It's just fabulous. It's also so good for when they come home, because who you see at the shelter or the fight is not necessarily who's gonna be living in your house for the first week. I wrote a book, Helping Humans One Animal at a Time. One of my favorite chapters is everybody, literally the body, the physical body, everybody is an emotional storage unit. So this dog that has come into your house, or this cat that all you want is a lap cat and all they want to do is hide. So again, we're just trying to help them absolutely adjust, have the best life they can. The second one in this set is called Fresh Start. And Fresh Start I made for a feral Tom in Los Angeles, not a husband, a feral Tom cat in Los Angeles. And all the cat wanted to do was rile up the house cats. He'd go on everybody's back porch and just in it. Yeah. And this woman just fell in love with him. Really, really, really wanted him as a house cat. And so I made something called Fresh Start. It's kind of like, dust yourself off, leave the past behind, and let's have a fresh start. It also worked beautifully for a horse that came to me very damaged. They were trying to push him into to an Olympic level, and the horse just wasn't having it. He was too young. He was too confused. They were pushing him too hard. That was Fresh Start. So, and a dog at a yoga retreat where in Hawaii, and the dog barked too much. So here this woman was, high-end $1,000 a day yoga retreats, and her dog would not stop barking. So that also was Fresh Start. It is great for jealousy, hurt feelings, discouraging repetitive behaviors. That's, the spinning, licking, barking, etc., whatever that is. And so I also love to say, need to apologize, use this and try again. Because maybe that's all they need is an apology. And here are the flower essences that do that. Mimulus for past abandonment. Something happened to them where they felt abandoned, and we can't sit down and have a conversation. We can't put them into a year's worth of therapy. We want to have them adjust, feel good and safe right now. Lady Slipper, that beautiful tiny little flower, is for shyness. Gorse, again, for hope and encouragement. Arnica, I'm a fan of arnica for those getting rid of those negative memories. And gentian for mistrust. An amazing little beautiful itsy bitsy flower, again, that has such dynamic properties to it. Thank you so much for letting me share. Again, this is the New Beginnings set, and boy, we could all use a little bit of that, huh? Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being here. Bye.
You've been listening to Animals Inside Out, brought to you by Blackwing Farms. If you know anyone who could benefit from today's episode, please consider sharing it. Also, if you want to learn more about Blackwing Farms and the incredible natural remedies for mental, physical, and emotional needs of animals, go to blackwingfarms.com and enter Animals Inside Out for 10% off your next purchase. Be sure to subscribe on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts, and we'll see you in the next episode.